What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that I think a lot of people have been wondering about for a pretty long time now. Since even before Avengers Endgame, since the Disney Fox deal was done and we knew that Deadpool was coming to the MCU, I think everybody has been wondering, when is Marvel/Disney going to start to produce rated R content in the MCU? And luckily for us, Disney has actually answered this question, and it looks like they could have some upcoming rated R films that are going to take place in the MCU. And I'll talk about them in this video, and yes, Deadpool is on the list. In fact, Deadpool is actually a very important property for Marvel Studios and Disney moving forward. And we'll talk about the streaming service that Disney is going to be putting Deadpool and these other rated R films on. And we'll talk about, and this is going to sound pretty weird, if Marvel can learn or pick up a few things from DC in their rated R films. And a quick reminder about my Stormbreaker giveaway. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to my channel and subscribe to Cosmic Culture, picking a winner at the end of this month. So rated R movies from Disney may come as a shock to some people. Yes, it's Disney, Mickey Mouse, the Disney princesses, all of that, but they do own rated R properties. And Bob Iger, when he was the head of Disney, stated that they are going to do rated R movies. Disney does indeed release R-rated movies, they're just under other companies, subsidiaries that they happen to own to keep the Disney name clean, and that's exactly what they're going to do here. That hasn't changed for them. So the question is, how exactly are we going to be able to watch these R-rated films from Disney? Well, last year in an investor meeting, they mentioned that they are going to have R-rated content or an adult or mature rated section on Disney+. Now, they first stated that it would simply be an option that you can choose in the settings. You can go into the settings and choose to turn on the R-rated content. This would require a password to activate so kids wouldn't go in and do it on their own. But now it's being stated that a lot of their adult content is going to be on their Star service on Disney+. This is where their Fox properties are going to be that are rated R, and where their Hulu properties like MODOK will be on Disney+. So technically it won't fall under the Disney name. So just like how Disney+ has a Marvel section, a Star Wars section, a National Geographic section, they are going to have a Star section, and that's where this content is going to be. Now, the exciting part, what exactly is this content? What is going to be the R-rated content of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, of course, we have the big guy, Deadpool. Deadpool 3 is in development right now, and a lot of people were wondering if it's still going to remain rated R even though it's at Disney, and luckily they have confirmed, yes, it will remain a rated R franchise. And Deadpool was actually a staple to Marvel Studios and Disney and is going to continue to be a staple moving forward. And the reason is because Deadpool is a movie that they couldn't get away with making PG-13. So Marvel Studios and Disney faced a choice here. Either compromise the character and a lot of the things that fans really love about the character.
I feel just like a little girl.
So their choice was to compromise that or stay true to the character and find a way to move forward. Now, let's be honest, Marvel isn't really a stranger to R-rated movies. Marvel Studios is. And like I've said, Disney has been making rated R films just under other companies. But Marvel has been making rated R movies. Deadpool was a massive success and it's Marvel. Logan was fantastic and it's still Marvel even though it's under the Fox property. But still rated R and one of the best superhero movies ever. And then you have the original Blade trilogy, that was rated R. And of course the new Blade is coming to the MCU as well, and fun fact, Ryan Reynolds was actually in the original Blade trilogy.
This is awkward.
So Ryan Reynolds is going to go from Blade to Deadpool to probably showing up in the Blade franchise as Deadpool. And there's definitely going to be some sort of an awesome joke there, I can feel it. Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, so I can definitely feel a joke about him being in the original Blade coming. And speaking of Blade, the new Blade is coming to the MCU with Mahershala Ali, and although that isn't confirmed to be rated R since the original one was, and Disney and Marvel Studios are going down an R-rated road, it could be rated R and probably should be rated R. As I've talked about before, with Blade comes a sort of monsterverse inside of the MCU. This is going to be a bit of a darker kind of underground semi-universe within the MCU. And hopefully this will bring on other characters, and hopefully some of those characters will go on to form the Midnight Suns, who I think a lot of people would also say should be rated R. Not to mention, if the Punisher comes to the MCU at one point, and he very much should, they shouldn't try to tone down the violence, because not all of these R ratings are about cuss words or nudity or anything like that. I actually don't think Marvel Studios and Disney will do nudity. It's more about the cuss words with Deadpool and the violence with characters like the Punisher. And really what it's about, like I mentioned, is staying true to who the characters actually are. That's why Logan was absolutely awesome. We saw Wolverine go crazy and tear people apart. And then we have reports of the Thunderbolts and the Dark Avengers teams coming, and these don't actually have to be rated R. However, I do think that some fans would actually like to see them be rated R and be some type of a Suicide Squad film, a better Suicide Squad film, and watch some bad guys come together to do some tasks that the good guys can't get done. Now, will all of these rated R stories be a part of the main MCU stories and affect them? Yes and no. They will most definitely affect each other's stories, as in the rated R movies will affect the other rated R movies, but besides that, they will most likely operate like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did. The events of the main MCU story affect them, but they don't affect the main MCU story. And this is going to be so that Marvel doesn't have to say to kids, well, you have to watch these R-rated movies to be up to date on what's happening in the main MCU. They did say that you have to watch the Disney Plus shows to stay up to date, but they aren't going to make a bunch of kids have to watch rated R movies. All of the Karens out there would have complete meltdowns. It would be a disaster. But there are a lot of characters who, at their core, kind of require R-rated films to make the most out of them. And this is something that DC actually kind of got right. Like when they made Joker. It wasn't unnecessarily rated R. It was very necessary because of who the character is and what goes on in his life. How he becomes this insane murderer. The same thing goes with the Suicide Squad. That is the new Suicide Squad that is coming out that is rated R. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. The tone is already way different and better than the previous Suicide Squad, which was rated PG-13. And then you have movie like Kingsman, The Secret Service, which did an excellent job, and Marvel can take note from them as well. Marvel Studios has done an incredible job at every single thing that they've tackled so far. I have no doubt that they're going to handle Deadpool the right way, and any other movie or character that, out of necessity, would require an R rating. And there are some projects coming, and it's all going to start with Deadpool. So let me know which project you're most excited for to see coming to this adult content section of Disney Plus, and let me know if you think that there's a character besides Deadpool that you think should absolutely be rated R. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.